BSG Annual 2022. I am your host, Zelda, and I will be your host until the end of the marathon. I am joined here with Kinnin, who's about to run some Kirby and the Forgotten Land for us, so whenever you're ready, booyah!
Thank you very much, Zelda. Welcome everyone to Kirby and the Forgotten Land. It's the newest Kirby game. It's the first true 3D Kirby game, and it's a blast. I'm going to be running 80%. That means I'm going to start from a fresh file. Timing starts when I say it starts. That's easier. Like online stuff. Okay, so if everyone's ready, in 3, 2, 1, go. So we're starting off with some cutscenes that we're just going to be able to skip, which is nice. So we're starting on the Spring Breeze mode, which is like the easy mode of the game, because it's just faster, because like in Wild mode you get like extra points at the end, and that takes like a little bit of time, and over every stage like you just lose a lot of time, so it's simply faster to do Spring Breeze. So right at the start, like this is the main movement you're going to be seeing me do if I do not have an ability, is just slide jump. The reason why the jump is at the end there is so that I do not lose my speed from the end of the slide. Because if you let the slide go through all the way, you just slow down right at the end. So with a jump, you maintain more speed, basically. Whoop. So that's one of the annoying things about the sliding, is it does home in on enemies that are close, so you do need to be careful of that. There we go. And this section is annoying. I'm really bad at it. Also music good, because Kirby game. So right off the bat right here, we're going to be going into the main gimmick of the game, which is the mouthful mode. You can basically swallow certain objects and become them. So in this case, we are Kirby, or Carmouth. And it gives you specific abilities for specific sections or puzzles. And in this case, we just get a car and we go fast. So throughout, whenever I have Kirby, I'm basically just holding down the turbo dash button for the entire time, because it's just simply faster to do so. Then we're gonna go into this little wall over here, and there's like a big intro cutscene with like music, and it's cool, and it's fun, and we're just gonna skip it. And then we're gonna meet our first true antagonists. So they have wrecked a village of the Waddle Dees, and it's really sad. And there we have Elfilin, who's gonna be our partner. But first we need to save Elfilin. And we got these Aboofis, that's what they're called. And we're just gonna suck them up and spit them out. Luckily, the spitting out does track the enemies a little bit, which makes it a little bit easier. And there we go, we saved Elfilin. There we go. Skip more cutscenes, and we're gonna go to the world map, because that was a little intro bit. You can go to it again later. It's not important. You can also play co-op in this mode with Bandana D. Sadly, we're not gonna be doing that, so we won't be seeing much of him unless we get back to Waddle Dee Town, which we are going to be doing. So, and on to the world. So we're gonna start off with natural plains. This is level 1, and it's kind of easy. And that also allows me to explain like one of the main things we need to look out for during the game. So in the story of the game is that all the Waddle Dees have been stolen, basically. They've been trapped in these cages, and they're like scattered all around the world, and we need to try and save them. To be able to progress to like the boss at the end of every world, we need to collect a certain amount of Waddle Dees, and how many that is depends on the world. So throughout the run, I'm basically just going to grab a certain amount of Waddle Dees. I do not need to grab all of them, luckily, but it is very important to pick up the fast ones as much as possible. There's a really long route for it, and we'll get to it when we get to it.
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I have 25 euros from Anonymous saying, "Hey y'all, BSG has been great to watch. I wish I could be there in person. Shout out to all of you wonderful people making this happen. Sadly, I can't watch the final run, but this donation goes to sacrifice Alistair to the Archdemon because I really, really, really hate Alistair."
Good shit.
Language.
I'll try. So right here, we're going to meet one of the first mid-bosses. There's a bunch of them. The best way to deal with this one is just no ability, because he just gives us a lot of stars. There is actually a no-copy ability run of this game, and it's pretty good, pretty fast. Oh, and I forgot to do a setting. So there's a specific setting that I have to turn off, which is the auto-swallow. Basically, they added a thing in the game that whenever you suck up an enemy with an ability, you'll just swallow it to get it. But for speedrunning, that's really annoying because there's just a couple times that we do not want to be able to swallow our ability, but we want to be able to spit it out. So it's very important that we turn that off. Also, music is so good. So right here, we're gonna grab this mouthful cone. This is cone mouth. I'm gonna be attempting a little skip. I haven't practiced it properly. I'm not that great at it anymore. So I'm gonna do the fastest version first. Didn't get it. Now we're gonna do a slower version once. No, messed that up. Okay, then we're just gonna go intended. So basically, you can skip going all the way around here and waiting for this guy to break this, and just go straight on top of him using a very well-timed attack. But it's a little bit tricky. I'm not that great at it. I probably should have taken more time to practice it, but there were more important things to practice. And we'll get to those bits later. So right here, you see that at the end of every stage, you get 3 free Waddle Dees. And it shows you like a hint of like, oh, this is the thing you should have done to get 1 extra Waddle Dee just by doing stuff. So sometimes we are going to be doing that. Sometimes we aren't going to be doing that. It just depends. It's just getting the fastest ones. There we go. And got a collection. So there's these figurines throughout the world. We're trying to not grab those because they're slow. Like at the end of the stage, like, oh, hey, you got this one. Just like, no, we don't want to see that. Thank you very much. So right here, we're going to be grabbing one of the main 2 abilities we'll be using. This is fire. If you've seen any modern Kirby games, you probably know this one pretty well. It basically, whenever we're in the air, it allows us to do this burning attack, which is pretty fast. And we're just going to be burning through the entire section. So if you got anything, feel free to pop in real quick, Zelda.
I do indeed. I have 5 euros from Satanic Nerd saying, "Satanic Nerd for Poyo for 1,000 channel points."
So yeah, that's the thing I have on my channel. Whenever like you have 1,000 channel points, you can make me say Poyo. And there's also one where you can make me say Poyo in a specific way, which is heavily abused by Satanic Nerd. I've said a lot of Poyos in my day. There we go. So throughout these sections, it's all about like movement and getting through them with the proper amount of burnings, because like you saw right there, if your distance isn't correctly judged, you will bonk against the wall, and that can really slow you down over time. So right there, there's another mouthful mode thing. We're not going to be using it because it's really slow. It does mean I'm missing a couple of Waddle Dees, but that's fine. And right here, we're going to be doing a little trick. We're going to do 2 burnings, and by hitting the poster, we actually refresh our floating. And because of that, we can float a lot higher than you would usually be able to, and basically skip having to use mouthful mode there at all. It's really useful. It saves like a solid 15 to 20 seconds. See you there, Satan. So this game does have a lot of downtime in between stages, but it's really nice. Like, it gives you some time to just relax and sit down, and, you know, it's nice.
If you're that relaxed, may I plug some incentives?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'll cue you in for those.
Okay.
So these are secret worlds. They're basically like ability challenges you can do. Treasure roads, my bad. And they give you like a star, and you can use stars to upgrade abilities. Upgrading abilities we'll get to later, but we're never going to do any of them because it takes too much time. And the upgrading of the abilities is not really worth it, except for one. You can have 3 guesses as to which ability I'm going to be upgrading. Yes, it's fire. There we go. So right here, the gimmick of this level is all these rolling boulders. They don't seem too harmless until we go to this section. And just kind of need to get through them. Over here is a little secret, and that gives us another Waddle Dee. And this is a pretty fun section as well. The giant boulder chasing us, but sadly we're just way too fast with fire, so it won't even get close. And on to the next mouthful mode, and we are Kirby again. This case, I'm gonna try and not fall off the edge here, because that gives me another Waddle Dee. It's very important. There we go. I am gonna jump over here because that gives some health. There's like these little flowers everywhere. If you run over them in any way, shape, or form, they either give you like star coins or they will give you some health if you're low. It's useful. You better do them every single time, Satanic Nerd. Awesome. So every time we get like to the end of a stage, the tech is just doing this every time. So yeah, drink some water. Yep.
Stay hydrated, chat.
Like I said, a lot of downtime. It's really nice. It's the one thing I like about the downtime in this game. You've got these sections where you need to keep focusing for a while, and then the game is just like, oh, you look at all the things you've unlocked, and it's just like, nice, I can drink some water. So this is the mall. It's got some fun music. And a little bit of a directional puzzle as well coming up a little bit later that we're just gonna ignore. Whoop. So right here, we're gonna grab an invincibility candy. It basically speeds us up a little bit and makes us invincible. You did see a Waddle Dee over there, sadly trapped, but we're not gonna be grabbing it. So over here, if you suck up that little cabinet over there, it'll show you where you need to go. But we don't really care. We just want to go as fast as possible. So we're just going to go the wrong way instantly. There we go. So I hope I still have enough invincibility candy over here for this mid-boss. We do. Awesome. That is really tight. Because like now I've already run out like right after hitting him twice. I have had it multiple times that I don't get that timing, so I'm quite pleased about that. There we go. Oh, right. So that's another thing, by the way. I just kind of accidentally showed it off. Kirby does have a maximum height he can flutter in this game, and it depends on what you're below. And in some ways, we can kind of manipulate our positioning to give us the best height we can get. And I will be using it here and there, but most of the time I just need to pay attention to where I am whenever I'm doing a flutter. Over here we get the cabinet mouthful mode, or storage mouth. And oops, that was the entire wall. And there we go, more Waddle Dees. So that should give us enough Waddle Dees to get to the boss of this world. It's like this game just goes by really fast. Like we've been here 15 minutes already. In case you thought like, oh, it was like 5 minutes maybe. No, it's 15. It's pretty ridiculous, but it's a cute game. And here we go. Waddle Dee smashing the gate for us, so we can fight it. The brawl at the mall. Yeah, there's a lot of alliteration in this game. Just fun titles. I like tech is like talking about stuff behind my back. I don't know what they're saying.
Don't worry about it.
I'll try not to. Oop. So right here we're going to be switching into a different ability. This is Ice. And the reason why is going to become very apparent once we get into the boss fight. Ice is not a great movement ability, so I'm just basically using copyless movement. Big gorilla. This is Gorimondo. And the way we're going to be defeating him is by... We're going to constantly switch between shielding and dealing damage. And by doing that, we deal a lot of damage, and we also freeze him. Basically allowing us to constantly deal a lot of damage every time. Let's see if I can get this phase. Come on! Yeah, let's go. So we just skip the second phase, basically. He does a really big spinning attack, and it takes a lot of time. But if you're at him right at the right moment, you can stop him from attacking you. There we go. And we save the Waddle Dees. So it is actually kind of... What the hell? So it is kind of important to get a certain amount of Waddle Dees in the boss fights. I'll get to that a little bit later because we need to get to a certain amount of Waddle Dees in total at some point. So right here we're gonna, after the brawl on the wall and all these little things appearing, we're gonna go back to Waddle Dee Town to see what's changed. This happens every so often. We basically just get like new areas that we can explore. We're only going to be using one. So Zelda, if you've got anything for me, feel free to go ahead with that.
I don't have any donations for you, but I can talk about the incentives that we have. We have 3 last incentives coming up, which all 3 are about Dragon Age Origins. We have the Grey Warden name, which currently... Skips is in the lead. I don't know what this is. With 13 euros. And then we also have Nameware in second place with 5 euros. And then we also have the who sacrificed themselves to kill the Archdemon Bidwar, which currently the Warden is in the lead with 65 euros, and Alistair with 50 euros in second place. And then we also have the who will bust the Warden out of jail, which we currently have David in the lead with 6 euros and Jory in second place with 5 euros. So if you want to see any of these change, and especially maybe the Grey Warden name, just for my sake, get your players in.
So right here, we're going to go into the weapons shop. The weapons shop basically allows us to upgrade abilities, and you use like stars for them. And at the start, we like have a little tutorial. So the game actually gives you the right amount of stuff for it. And we can just get this one for free, basically. So we got a free upgrade, which is really nice. I can skip this cutscene. And we get Volcano Fire. So Volcano Fire mostly just deals more damage, which is nice because it's also very our speed ability. So upgrading our speed ability to do more damage is just really nice. And we'll be using it a lot to also fight bosses. We're not going to do everything with ice, sadly. Ice is pretty cool, but we also like to be a little bit hot here. That was terrible. I am not sorry. So the next world is the water world. Luckily, we have no underwater stuff in this Kirby, so we're just skimming on top of water. There we go. So right here, we're going to be doing our first proper skip. This is the first one found as well. We're going to go onto this tree. I said onto this tree. I said onto the tree. There we go. And then jump and go all the way to the foreground. And we're watching the shadow. I didn't get it. I'm going to try it again. This trick has been giving me some issues lately. Kind of annoying. Come on. Okay, I'm going to try it one more time. And if I fail it, I'm just going to fight the boss. It's already not worth going for, but it's a fun little trick. So what you can do is you can kind of go out of bounds there and basically just float underneath this arena. It's like a 10 to 20 second time save. But luckily we have Volcano Fire now, so this fight is kind of quick. Just kind of fire him down. So you can kind of like go to the bottom right here and end up here. But yeah, it's been giving me some trouble lately. It's honestly pretty easy, but I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. So right here, we're gonna destroy the sandcastle. I know someone put in a lot of time, but it gives us a Waddle Dee. That's way more important than like a little sandcastle. So these whirlpools, if you get to the center of them, you basically void out. So we're gonna try and avoid them as much as possible. Ow, I would like to keep my fire, please. But they also give you a little boost here and there, so using them is kind of nice. And then we're gonna go right here. So there's another mouthful mode you can do here for a Waddle Dee, but it's slow. So we're just gonna go straight to the end here, and on to the next one. So yeah, sometimes in the world we're only going to save like one Waddle Dee. Sometimes we're going to be saving like 6 in one of them. It's kind of crazy. But on to the next stage. The Concrete Isles. So kind of the idea of the forgotten part of the Forgotten Land is that this is like a post-apocalyptic thing. So there's like a lot of like quote-unquote human culture. I'm not sure if it's actually human, but it looks vaguely human, so I guess that works. So one of them is the Concrete Isles. Right here, we're going to be greeting these seagulls. There's 3 of them here. And the way we're going to be greeting some of them is questionable. So this one, for instance, we're just going to go fireball right on top of it. That's greeting enough, right? I also greet my friends by throwing fireballs at them. Hi! And that's all the seabirds greeted. Let's see. So this section is a little bit cycle-based. I don't have a proper route to get through the cycles. Should maybe look into that, but this kind of works. Here, just wait. Wait for this one, because it will screw you over. Like that. And there we go. And that stage is done. And that's 4 more waddlies saved. And feel free to go ahead.
Oh, was that me? Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, that's okay, that's fine. That was a little bit.
All right, I have 20 years from Mega Kek saying maybe the real treasure was the donations we made along the way. And it looks like that donation went to the Grey Warden name, which is now currently in the lead with €20, sorry, which is going to be Grijze Bewaker.
Ooh. 20 real monies. So in this level, we're going to be taking down these wanted posters. There we go. Hope to get lucky here. Hey, we didn't get hit. There's more cycle-based stuff over there, but if you just jump at the right moment, it's fine. And here we're going to have another mid-boss. This is Florina. I believe she gives us Tornado. In some cases, people switch to Tornado here. Tornado is the second movement ability. I'm not doing that. I don't particularly like the strat, or haven't really looked into it properly. We're just gonna go straight ahead here. So we're hitting this button, and we're gonna get a little bit of a timed section here. We need to get the Waddle Dee before the time runs out. Luckily, that's quite easy. There you go. This is one of my own my own changes in the route, just for consistency's sake. Because there's one Waddle Dee you can get that is really difficult to get, and I don't like it, so I don't try to go for it. And here we are in Archmouth mode. Archmouth basically lets us fly for a bit, so these are like auto-scroller sections, and you just kind of fly around. Take it easy, take in the views, and fly around. I am going to go through all of these rings. I'm going to be needing a good amount of star coins near the end of the game. So picking up a couple of these whenever I'm in this in these auto-scroller sections is kind of useful. It's not a lot, but it helps. And right here, we're going to go to the right for a little secret. You can see it at the wall already. Some more star coins, and at the end, there is another Waddle Dee. And that's that little Archmouth section. I'm going to be seeing Archmouth a couple more times throughout the run. And on the left there, you see a little blue star that is like a retry star. It's really slow. Can I? Thank you. That's all the posters done as well. And that's all the Waddle Dees we're going to be saving in this section. So into the stage end we go. There we go. Oh, quite thirsty today. And that's the next stage. It's going to be a big whirlpool stage, a lot of whirlpools. They're quite easy to deal with, but kind of annoying at the same time. So over here in the fast-flowing water, I'm going to be using a little trick to stay in the water while still using burning, which speeds it up a little bit. I'm basically pressing A and B at the same time. So I'm canceling a jump while also getting enough height to be able to do a burning. I'm not sure if it's the correct technique, but it's a technique that works for me. So I should probably ask it in a Discord at some point. There we go. So this is the section I was talking about that I find annoying. If you do not drop in the water here, you get a Waddle Dee. But I find it really difficult to fight these without dropping in the water. So I tend to just do it anyway. Whoop, that does hit me. Wow, that was not as smooth as I would have liked. There we go. And at the end we got a chest, and there is a... I accidentally opened it. I'm happy I didn't grab it. That's a blueprint. You need blueprints to upgrade your abilities, but we're not upgrading anything else anymore, so we're going to skip as many blueprints as we can. Hi, fish. So this is a really big puzzle section, which is really fun casually, but we're just going to skip through it. There we go. A lot of the mouthful mode puzzles are quite inventive in this game, and I really like them. But we're going to be skipping just about all of them. So right here, during these big whirlpools, we're just going to hit the button to be able to continue. This one takes a while. There is a Waddle Dee there in the on the top. We're not going to grab that one because it takes a long time to get to it. Ah, damn. Yeah. There we go. And that's another stage done. I believe that's the last stage of this one. I don't remember how many stages I've done. It is. So now we're going to go to our next boss already. This is going to be Tropical Woods, because every Kirby needs a Wispy Woods or a Wispy Woods alike. In this case, it's Tropical Woods. So there's actually a really interesting skip you could do here. Once you get into the late game or whatever, but we're not in late game, so we can't do it. It's like one of those things that gets found and like it's not really useful. It's kind of sad. There's a lot of that in this game. But some of them do actually get use, So we're just going to be using fire for this fight. We don't really need anything else. There we go. And on to the fight. This is Tropic Woods. So Tropic Woods throws some fruits at us at the start, and he's going to be puffing as well. And we're just going to be dodging the puffs. Whoop. Actually, I'm going to be jumping for them. There we go, that was the right way to do it. And we're gonna go into the second phase already. Now, at the start of the second phase, Tropic Woods just blows a bunch and you just jump over it. And then we're gonna continue again. And now he's gonna try and stop us from attacking him. And the best way to deal with it is to just be on the side of it and dodge there every time he moves it. Oh, I didn't actually mean to destroy the roots, but that actually helps a lot. That's an extra Waddle Dee I usually don't get, but that's nice. And that's Tropic Woods. There are like leaderboards for defeating the bosses and everything, run by Nintendo themselves. Yes, Elflin, I forgot a blueprint. I'm sorry. And like on one of the first weeks or something, I checked what the one for Tropic Woods was, and it was like 1 second. It was like, okay, someone clearly cheated. There we go. And now we are going to go back to Waddle Dee Town. Every time we defeat a boss, you go back for a moment. So, Zelda, do you feel like plugging something?
I do. Well, for those of you just joining in, we are the Benelux Speedrunner Gathering. We organize bi-monthly gatherings in the Benelux for speedrunners. We're currently streaming our annual event live from Hotel Asteria in Van Rij, the Netherlands. We are raising money for Mind, which is a nationwide organization committed to prevent mental health issues and to support everyone who is dealing with mental issues themselves or within their family. All of your donations will go to Mind.
Thank you very much. Anyways, welcome to Wonderia. Wonderia is like a broken down theme park, basically. Well, an abandoned theme park. I promise it's not going to be that creepy. We'll get to the creepy bits later. Not that creepy anyway. It's a Kirby game. How creepy can it get? Do not read Kirby lore. Whatever you do, do not read Kirby lore if you do not like creepy things. There we go. So these really big enemies are like machines that are floating around. They are indestructible as we are right now. So we just try to avoid them as much as possible. And this is, in my opinion, the worst room in the game. I absolutely hate it. Because these spinners are on terrible cycles. They never move the way I want them to. Oh, no. Yeah, I missed the cycle. Ugh. There we go. That is a Kirby Planet Robobot music reference, by the way. We're going to do a little skip over here as well. You can do 2 burnings and then just float your way to the top here. You're supposed to grab like a water mouth thing, but we can just skip it. We're going to do something similar right here. We're going to go to the right. And we're going to be jumping on top of these lampposts. And we skip another water section. It's a fun little skip. And then we're going to grab a water mouth, which is literally just Kirby filling itself up with a bunch of water. And that way you can clean all the mud. And that's how you're supposed to get through the sections I just skipped. And that's the end already. There we go. And now to the speedrunner speed section of the run. It's the motor speedway. What's it called? The circuit speedway. My bad. Oh, I'm so bad. My memory is terrible. I only have muscle memory. That's the only thing that helps me get through speedruns. So circuit speedway is all about Kirby and going fast. So why not like this? My times are usually, compared to what I see from other runners, not that great, but they work. So right here, we're gonna go into Kirby. Whoop. And we're gonna line up a little bit to the right for this start. And we got a time section right here. So the important part here is to basically just not hit the mud as much as possible. Ooh. There we go. That was a little bit sketchy. And I want to get a sub 20 here, and 17 is perfectly fine. Thank you. Because that gives us another Waddle Dee. I've seen people get like 16s, I believe. So I'm not that great at it. This is another kind of safety Waddle Dee I get. It's not really the one I'm supposed to grab, but I just like having it. And then we got a nice little section of burning going down over here. So you cannot infinitely keep using burning. After the second one, you basically start losing height more dramatically. So it's important to make sure you land every so often, or you keep in mind how far you can go. So this wall dodge is pretty quick, usually. There we go. Ooh. And on to our next speed section. In this one, we don't actually need to get a target time. We actually need to start using some shortcuts, like this one, and some pre-made ones through these cardboard boxes. There's 3 of them, I believe, and we need to get through all 3 of them. So right here is another one. Oh, it's only 2 then. Never mind, it was only 2 cardboard boxes. I always forget how many there are. A little slalom at the end. And let's see, that is a sub 40. Hey, you don't get that often. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Whoop.
I would like to quickly let you know that you've made the chat really worried about the Kirby lore.
Yeah, it is very dark. It is like, it's a very cute game, and until you start reading what some of the stuff behind some of the bosses is, it's wow. It's like dead children and everything. That level of darkness. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. It's really dark. Do not go into it if you do not like to be creeped out. Like, even in Robobot, there's a lot of lore that I specifically left out. Robobot is one of the most, the worst ones, basically, even though it looks one of the cuter ones. So this is the invasion of the at the House of Horrors. So this is the quote-unquote spooky bit of the park. So I got these monsters here that pop up. They're annoying. They stop you from moving. And we got actual ghosts here. What? And I fell down. Lovely. But because ghosts are annoying, we're going to be stealing their food. There we go. There are some hidden snacks that they left behind. For you, bunny. This one we can just walk through. And there we go. So this is the next mouthful mode thing. This is light bulb mouth. It basically lights up dark places and charges up those stations. We're only going to use this one just to get started, and then we're just going to fly through here. Hopefully not drop too much. There we go. The game actually keeps spawning new light bulbs for you. Just like, oh, you lost your light bulb. Here, let me give you a new one. And it's like, no, I don't want it. slow. There we go. It's also important not to hit the Ghost Gordos. Here we're gonna do a little bit of a skip, so we don't need Light Bulb Mouth at all. I'm not sure how that one ever got through QA testing, but that's fine. It's a nice little skip. So right here, you have to pick the right side. I usually accidentally grab the wrong one here. Here again, it's like, oh, you can go through here, but no, you can't. It's just a drawing, and you have to go through here. However, in this case, oh, no, not yet. And we're gonna steal more snacks. So here, you are actually supposed to go to the left here, because you've got these two blocking your way. But if we go up here, they go away, and we're high enough so they don't spawn again. So that's a little skip where we skip another mouthful mode thing that's kind of slow. Kind of nice. And onto these little auto-scroller sections. So there's a Waddle Dee trap there, but it's really annoying to grab. It is technically a really fast one to do, but I usually die trying to grab it. So I don't go for it anymore. That's just me trying to get some consistency in there. And feel free to read the donation.
Thank you very much. I have 25 years from Peekaboo, seeing really loved last week, full of incredible runs and games. Thank you, BSG, of making it possible and helping a fantastic cause. P.S. My wife will also donate 10 euros extra if the host can pronounce Groene Schoenenfabriek. I'll take your 10 euros.
Wait, what was the word?
Groene Schoenenfabriek.
Oh boy. That's a bit of a tongue twister. So here in the we're gonna go into the Dream Parade. We're gonna get a lot more of those big monsters, or not big monsters, big machines flying around. I'm gonna have to see if we can get through the cycle. Okay, we didn't get the best cycle, but this still works fine. This is actually the cycle I usually get. I'm not that fast, sadly. So there's another safety Waddle Dee I could have grabbed there, but I'm just gonna trust myself. In this section, it's important I do not land in the mud at all. And we're going to be switching abilities here for the first time. We're going to go into... Oh, second time, actually. We're going to use the other movement ability now. This is Tornado. Tornado basically allows us to keep heights a lot more easily. So we can just traverse certain sections really nicely. There we go. Get rid of this poster. Ooh, I almost just went early. Oh no. Okay, cool. I can't grab it. Whew. Almost thought I lost Tornado there. That would have been pretty bad. So the nice thing about Tornado is that it kind of follows the contours of the area, where Fire usually you kind of just fly straight into it. It allows us to skip these sections a lot more easily like this. Can't really do that with Fire. And it's fast enough to just go through here. No. No. Come on. Oh. Just in time. And that's already the end of this section. We already had 2 scares with the Tornado almost being lost. Whew. That was very late. And now we're gonna go on to the boss fight of Wondaria. So in this boss fight, I'm actually going to be dropping Tornado a lot. I'm not that great at it. It is technically faster if you do it right, but I find it a little bit difficult. So I might mess it up here and there. We're gonna be doing our best. Sorry for the burps. So right here, we're gonna go into the big circus. And there's a mysterious being waiting for us. Ooh, let's not grab a different ability, please. I would technically get another Waddle Dee with that ability, but I prefer not to use it. It's kind of slow. So this is Chloraline. That's harder to pronounce than you think. So right here, we're going to be trying to grab as many stars as we can every time, while also not losing tornadoes. Every now and then we have to re-grab tornado, which does lose a little bit of time. So this is the second phase. She's gonna throw some daggers at us. I'm gonna just dodge them in a way that they get really close to each other. One more. Ah, damn. Did not want to grab tornado here. Ah, yeah, I messed up the cycle. I'm gonna have to do it again. Oh boy, I haven't seen this face in a while. Yeah. There we go. That's a little bit closer to what had to happen. Oh, come on. There we go. I usually don't do it this badly, but that's marathon for you. So after every boss fight, by the way, you get a blueprint. We skip it, and every time Elflin is like, "Oh no, you left a blueprint behind." It's really annoying. Like, yeah, we know we left it behind. That's the point. Anyway, this is going to be the longest amount of time we're going to spend in Waddle Dee Town. So Zelda, you've got a lot of time to fill. Feel free to go ahead and fill it as much as you like.
Hopefully it's not going to be like Rush last 6 minutes.
It's not that bad, but it's definitely more than one.
Okay, well, I have 10 euros from Pika Blue's wife saying, here are the 10 euros as promised. And chat, just so you're aware, I am always up for a good tongue twister challenge. And I would like to once again plug our Dragon Age incentives. We have the Grey Warden name, which currently Grijze Bewaker is in the lead with 20 euros. Scribs in second place with 13 euros. And Name Wear with 5 euros. And then we also have the Who Sacrifices Himself to Kill the Archdemon Bitwar, which currently Alistair is in the lead with 85 euros, and the Warden in second place with 65. And then we also have Who Will Bust the Warden Out of Jail, which currently David is in the lead with €6, and Yuri is in second place with €5.
Yeah, we still have more time to fill, like seriously.
Even more? Okay, well in that case, we would like to thank ESA for supporting the event and for allowing us to stream on their channel. We also have some great prizes for you throughout the marathon. These prizes will only be available for the duration of this event and require a €25 cumulative total donation to enter. More info over at bsgmarathon.com/donate. And then you can also consider using your free monthly Prime gaming subscription right here on the ESA channel. You will get access to all the ESA emotes as well as several BSG emotes and you get to support both of the events. More?
No, we're good.
Good.
We're on to the ice section. In this section, it's very like a tornado is just simply faster than fire. That's why we got it earlier. And that's why we tried to keep it throughout the boss fight there. Right here, we're gonna go into this section. I thought there might be food here. I'm pretty low on health, so I'm hoping to snipe some food here and there to make sure I get through this section unharmed. There we go. So a lot of the tornado movement is simply knowing where certain objects are further ahead and landing on them and jumping from them. This section is a little bit annoying and pretty... It's all cycle-based, and you can go through here pretty quickly if you get the cycles. I already kind of missed them. I am never that good at these. There we go. Right there, we went up onto the little sign there to skip having to go for cycles on the other one. I'm gonna grab a Waddle Dee here. And after grabbing that Waddle Dee, we get enough height exactly right here. Continue. And more health. Lovely. I do love the health drops. So here again, we got more mouthful mode stuff that we're just straight up skipping. This time using Tornado's awesome ability to keep height. I do need to be careful not to be too close to the wall because I might bonk off of the wall, which is a pretty annoying time loss. Oh, come on, I thought you would have been... There we go. And now we're going to do a cute little skip here. We're going to go straight like this to the clock tower in the back. You're supposed to like grab a little cannon that shoots you there, but it's a lot slower than just doing this. And that's the end of the stage already. And by the way, Zelda, at the end of every stage, feel free to do a donation if we have one.
All right, does that mean that I can do one right now?
Of course.
Thank you. I have €22 from Kai75 saying this one's for Alistair, the virgin with an unholy love for fine cheeses. Good luck to all the runners today. And it looks like that one went to the Grey Warden name incentive, which means that currently Fine Cheese is in the lead with €22.
Do love me some fine cheese, though. Anyway, next up is Metro on Ice. So this is our first foray into ice physics in the game. As with any game, ice physics are annoying. So we just gonna try and tornado over as much ice as we can, rather than walking over it. In this stage, one way to get a Waddle Dee is to stand on top of two trains, so we're going to be doing that as well. And onto a little attack thing, boss fight, I don't know. So once again, we're dropping Tornado here because it's simply a little bit faster to do this copy ability-less. In a lot of games, Kirby's abilityless stuff is kind of bad, but in this game it's pretty good. So every now and then we will drop our ability to quickly go through. Ow. We can like tornado over these little barriers. It's kind of nice. And right here is another Waddle Dee just waiting for us to save them. And onto this section. So this is another cycle-based section. This cycle starts right off the bat. And we're basically going to try and get on top of this one here in time. There we go. To get up here. And then we're high enough and to get to this cycle section. And to grab this Waddle Dee. And if I'm fast enough, hopefully... Oh, no. Okay, I should not have done that. We get into the shipping container. Yeah, before it goes backwards. Yeah, you can get that before it goes back forwards. It's just a little bit tricky. Also, getting in between those lanes there, you get a nice little pinball section. It's kind of annoying.
We have €3 from Static Nerd saying, "All right, Zelda, all right. Nobody said anything about Brazilian tongue twisters. It's a beautiful beach in Brazil. Sorry. Also, bio.
Oh, whoa, that was a bad one. Let me try that one again. Bio. There we go. Whew. Should have cleared my throat before that one. So the first room in this stage is a little bit annoying. There's like a wind going back and forth, depending on where you are, I believe, in the stage. We're gonna skip like half of it right here, straight into this bit, and grabbing the most annoying Waddle Dee in my, well, at least the one I've failed quite often, let me put it that way. We're gonna go all the way to the left here, and then into the cave. There we go. That is harder than it looks. And that's another Waddle Dee done. So we're gonna go on to the next room. In this room, we're gonna learn about another mouthful mode. This is ring mouth. You can make as many jokes as you like about it, and don't worry about it. I don't mind. It basically allows us to wind, blast, and also to sit on a boat. So we're now on a little boat. And we're just going to go straight through. In an older route, we used to grab a couple of Waddle Dees here, but we can't really grab them with Tornado, so we're just going to continue on and grab different ones a little bit later on. So right here, there's a tailwind going, so we move a little bit faster forward, but that also means we can miss Waddle Dees like this one. Right here, simply by falling down here, we get another Waddle Dee. It's a bit of an odd one. And this is forklift mouth, scissor lift mouth, my bad. Because that's totally a thing that Kirby can do. There's a lot of weird ones. And that's the end of this stage.
We have €25 from Anonymous saying, "Donation goes to the runner's choice. I've never played Dragon Age, so I'm passing the buck. Lol."
Oh boy, I didn't even think about what my choice would be. Should have checked.
Would you like me to read the incentives out again?
Not yet. There's going to be a very important stage here, which I kind of need to focus on.
Sure.
We're going to be showing off the main glitch of the speedrun. Well, main glitch. It's one of the more used ones. We're going to be doing the hammer, our first hammer super jumps. So the way it kind of works is that when you have hammer, if you run out of stamina for floating, and then go attack down and hit the jump button at the same time, the game does not lock your upwards momentum. So you can go really far upwards. And if I do it right, I can basically skip all of the other mid-bosses except for this one. It's a little tricky. It's gonna take me a couple tries. So here we go. We're gonna grab this food because I like it. And we're gonna grab hammer, and here we go. So we're gonna float over here. I'm gonna run out of stamina, so Kirby starts to drop. That looked pretty all right. I might still hit it. This one is a little bit tricky. And we got it. Let's go. First try. So right here, we're actually in an area that you usually only get to in post-game. But it's already here, so we're just going to make use of it. And by making use of it, I mean we're just going to float over the next mid-boss. Okay, now I should have enough height. There we go. And we're going to go grab this Waddle Dee. And since we have to float up, we can already set up for our next hammer super jump. This one is a lot more lenient than the first one. The first one I fail regularly. This one, there we go. That's the second one. We're going to be doing these a couple more times later on in the run. They're going to be even more difficult than this one. But I'm really happy I got a first try. That was... I don't get them first try very often. Oh, happy I took the time to practice that. Feel free to plug the bits real quick, actually. I want to know now.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, in that case, we have 3 incentives left for the rest of the marathon, which are all free for Dragon Age Origins. We have the Grey Warden name, which currently Fine Cheese is in the lead with 22 euros. Grijze Bewaker in second place with 20 euros. Scribs in third place with 16 euros. I am not even going to try that. I'm sorry to whoever who donated that. And then Nameware in fourth place with 5 euros. And then we also have 2 Bitwards. We have Who Sacrifices Himself to Kill the Archdemon, which currently Alistair is in the lead with 85 euros, and the Warden in second place with 65 euros. And then Who Will Bust the Warden Out of Jail, which currently David is in the lead with 6 euros, and Yori is in second place with 5 euros.
Okay, put that donation towards the sacrificing the Warden. I believe that would flip it, right?
Not really.
Ah, damn it. Trying it anyway.
Well, actually, it might. I forgot how much I'll figure it out. Thank you.
Okay. So right here, we're going to be fighting against King DDD. It is very important that I do not guard any of his attacks. We're only going to be dodging his attacks. Because if I guard his attacks, I'm going to lose a Waddle Dee, and I'm going to need that Waddle Dee later. Whoop. I don't mind getting hit, though. And on to the second phase. There we go. That was pretty nice. So in the second phase, he's going to grab a pillar to hit us with. We're just going to dodge the attack, stand right next to him, and just fire. So with this one, I'm going to wait a little bit. Otherwise, I'm going to get hit by the attack. I did get an extra Waddle Dee somewhere, didn't I? Oh well. We got DDD down, though, with the Waddle Dee I need. So that's awesome. Once again, skipping the blueprints. I'm sorry, Alphalin. We really don't care about the blueprints. There we go. And in the background, you see King Dedede. Oh no, what are you doing, Dedede? And he's just grabbed Elfilin. So we no longer have Elfilin, which for me, it's a godsend because we do no longer have Elfilin complaining about blueprints. Really nice. But whatever shall we do? We need to go after Dedede. And here is Original Wastelands, which is like a shipyard kind of thing at the start. And we're gonna go all the way to the left here, because there is a lost squishy over here. Squishies are squid enemies, and they need to be taught a lesson to not go into the desert. Not good for squids. Oop, and straight into the star. So right here we got these pillars that will start falling down whenever we get close. So it's important not to get hit by them. I'm gonna kill this hothead over here because he might get annoying. And with another ring mouth, we are going to blast over there to let another pillar fall over so we can get a Waddle Dee. That snake can be quite annoying. Don't mind the lag here. Got a lot of dropped frames there. And that was the stage already. And next up we get Searching the Oasis, which is a place where I usually accidentally lose fire, so let's hope I don't do that. It happens way too often. And I actually know the backup to it quite well by now. That's how often it happens. It's a little bad. There we go. So we're going around a little pool here. And this snake is guarding it. I'm gonna go past him. We're gonna drop fire here and we're gonna grab sleep. And we're just gonna take a small little nap here. Grab fire, there we go. We didn't drop it, there we go. I usually accidentally spit it out while trying to grab it. And that's two quick little Waddle Dees. And a Gordo. So now we get to continue with fire as we would like to. Oof. It's especially useful for this section. We're just gonna skip this bit a little bit. Whoa, there we go. And on to the next Waddle Dee. Ooh. So there's a little water spout on the bottom here, and you think like, oh, I'll just grab it right now and water with it, but that's not a good idea. We're gonna be grabbing it a little bit later. Oh. Oh no, oh that's bad. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back down. I dropped my fire. That's not a place I usually drop fire. There he is. So the backup is grabbing Drill over here. Drill is one of the newer abilities. There we go. The movement with it isn't that amazing, but we're gonna use it here to go down here to grab this button. We can get here with fire, but well, I dropped it, so. There we go. And from up here we can hit that, what's it called? Crocum. And we need to defeat 2 Crocums to get another Waddle Dee. I do have a small issue. I honestly really need to go to the bathroom. Oh boy. Quite unprofessional.
I have 10 euros from Knipje saying, oh no, I looked at the Kirby lore.
Yeah, it's oof. Oof. Some of it. So we're gonna go back into the Alive Mall. This time we're gonna go into the staff side. Ooh. Whatever secrets are there. There we go. So the cool thing about this stage is that you've got a backside and a front side. In the front side is normal enemies, in the backside is a bunch of ghosts. And we're gonna taste test 3 kinds of ice cream here, which is lovely. And Codemouth has a special ability right here where it can break these walls. I'm gonna go back into the dark side of the mall. Okay. I'm gonna have to ask audio to mute my mic real quick because I really can no longer hold it up.
Well, in that case, while Kinnin goes for a quick toilet break, I'm going to read out some stuff for you guys. We want to thank Veilig Reserveren for offering BSG a ticketing system for our events. Veilig Reserveren is a Dutch ticketing system offering a back-end system for a variety of events. We would also like to thank Renabo for sponsoring several prizes to BSG. Renabo is a plush maker and a game developer who is currently working on Floating Wonderland, a retro-style 2D puzzle platformer that uses gravity to solve puzzles as you progress through several different stages. Follow @Floating Wonder on Twitter for updates. Want to go on more on-site speedrunning events? Our brothers in the United Kingdom are hosting UKSG Autumn 2022 in Glasgow. That runs the 3rd and 4th September 2022. They'll be raising money for Crisis.
Okay, I'm alive again. Fluid management for speedrunning is very important, as I just showed. Sometimes I forget to do it, and then this kind of stuff happens.
Stay hydrated, chat.
But not too hydrated. There we go. That's our last ice cream. Whew. I'm gonna do a little skip here. Just jump straight up there. That's a little bit embarrassing. That hasn't happened to me in a long time. At least not at marathons. And I did wash my hands. Just in case you were wondering why I was back so quickly, I did wash them. So don't worry about it. I will never ever do a hand wash skip. Onto the Moonlit Canyon. Right here, we're just gonna go through. And the main thing we're gonna be paying attention to is some posters that we're gonna have to take down of Kirby. I'm gonna remove 3 of them. And then we're gonna go get some dark sections. So over here, oh, it asks you to get Lightbulb's mouth, but we don't really need it. This is such a short section, we can just jump over it. And the game just gives you it over here anyway. And the game is really nice like that. You need to kind of remember that Kirby is like a children's game in a way. So a lot of it, the game is like made easy on purpose. And if you want the harder bits, you definitely need to go to post-game. That's where all the hard stuff is. Yep, I'm not grabbing it here either. Whoa, that was not intended. Don't know the exact distances with drill. And then right here, we're gonna grab it to open this little thing, which raises that up. Oh, come on. There we go. And that's another Waddle Dee. Good music hype. So right here, we're gonna switch back into fire because it's right there. I could have gone back to Waddle Dee Town and grabbed it, but that loses, I believe, 50 seconds exactly. I know this because I've tried it once when I once failed it, and that's the amount of time I saved by not going back to Waddle Dee Town, but instead using drill. We're gonna be trying to keep this fire for a lot longer now. Come on. Bad aim. Sometimes a little bit hard to aim yourself in the 3D space because the camera is locked, which is fine, but it can get a little bit annoying. And now we get another arch mouth section, which is basically a kind of an auto-scroller. But I think you already did most of your plugging, didn't you, Zelda?
I have pretty much gone through the entire plug text.
Yeah, I figured. Okay, well then you're just gonna enjoy the music for a little bit.
Well, I could always talk about more incentives.
Yeah, sure.
There's only we only have 1 game left in this marathon, and for that game we have 3 incentives. We have the Grey Warden name, which currently is pretty hot actually, because now we have Grijze Bewaker back in the lead with 30 euros, and then Fine Cheese in second place with 22 euros. Scrubs in third place with 16 euros. Stop laughing. And Nameware in fourth place with 5 euros. Then we have the Who Sacrifices Himself to Kill the Archdemon Bidwar. We currently now have the Warden in the lead with 90 euros, so that was indeed overthrown. Sorry about that. And we have Alistair in second place with 85 euros. And then for the second Bidwar, we have the Who Will Bust the Warden Out of Jail, which we currently have David in the lead with 6 euros, and Yuri in second place with 5 euros. So if you want to see any changes happen, get your puyos in.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a bit way better at it than me.
Thank you.
I kind of have to squeeze a lot, that's the issue.
Well, it also helps having a bit of a high-pitched voice.
Yeah, like, mine is pretty low down.
Boyo.
Boy, that's about as low as I can go real quick without warming up. Anyway, on to the next boss, aka the most annoying boss. They have a lot of weird movement that has a lot of invincibility frames, or not really invincibility frames, but they just move around too much to really get fire going, which is kind of annoying, but I guess at some point you need to find, like, you need to have a boss that doesn't just die to fire quickly. There we go. So once again, we're just going to be using fire. And this person really does not like Kirby. So this is Silly Dillo. He's going to try and catch us. There we go. Sometimes I get hit by that. And that's the first phase already. This boss has 3 phases. I forgot to skip. So in this phase, it's gonna shoot at us by rolling. Oh, I was waiting for the little sound effect, but it came really late. And we're just gonna keep hammering at him until we go to the next phase. I'm gonna move towards where he's gonna spawn. And hopefully get a few quick hits in before he starts the next phase. It spawns you here anyway. Okay. So this phase is annoying because his dance partner cannot be hit. And so sometimes you hit and sometimes you don't. And you just need to get lucky. For this attack, you can just stand right next to him and he just cannot hit you, which is kind of fun. And it goes straight back to rolling at you. And there we go, that's Silly Dillo. It's a little bit annoying, but you just kind of have to go through the motions with him. The dance motions. No, I don't know. And now, we do not have Elfilin to tell us, like, oh, you missed the blueprint, which is just lovely. No random text for me.
We have €3 from Iridescent Izzy saying, I'd like to request a Boyo in a comfortable pitch from Kinnin.
In a comfortable pitch. Okay. Boyo. There you go. That's a comfortable pitch. Thank you, Izzy. Anyway, as per usual, at the end of a boss fight, we get to go back to Waddle Dee Town. This is going to be a lot shorter, luckily. I believe this is like one thing that's been added. Yeah, the gacha machine. Yes, this game is also a gacha game. It's basically a way to get figurines you don't have yet. It's even gotcha rather than gacha. For 100%, you do need to collect all of them. There's luckily, thanks to the gacha machines, there's a little bit of randomness taken away. But anyway, here we're going to go into Redgar's Forbidden Land. And we're going to enter the Forbidden Lands. So we've got the Forgotten Land, and now we're in the Forbidden Lands. This section, this world is the final world of the game, quote unquote. And it is a little bit annoying. It has some of the hardest sections in the game for speedrunning. So right here, I'm going to jump over this, and I'm going to make sure I don't run too fast. Otherwise, that bunny over there is just going to absolutely destroy me. And we got both of the lookout awoofies. Still love that they're called awoofies. And on to the next section. So this section is cycle-based. You can beat the cycle in a way. I haven't really been able to do that in practice lately. Especially not if I do that. There we go. So this bit is a little bit annoying. I'm gonna basically try to keep off the path as often as possible, because you've got these giant like fireballs flying at you. It's a little bit faster to just start going down here and then go straight up. There we go, that was kind of smooth. So to get a Waddle Dee, you can like extinguish these fireballs, but it's quite a lot slower to do so. We're just gonna skip through it. And that's the stage already. And now we're gonna go on to kind of a difficult stage. I'm not that great at this one. I'm gonna do my best. And there's a very interesting trick in this one. So whenever you drop an ability and you're above that ability but like still near it, you can still suck it up. Doesn't matter how high you are, you can just suck it up. And right here we're gonna basically switch to a different ability, but leave fire in such a spot that we can grab it that way. It's a little bit tricky to set up. I hope I can get it. If I don't get it, I'm just gonna continue on, and I am gonna get a safety Waddle Dee in case I fail it. So I don't have to restart this stage over and over again. I'm gonna wait for this one. Cool. So right here, we're gonna go for our safety Waddle Dee. In actual runs, I wouldn't be getting this one, but again, safety first in a marathon run. And hey, having extra Waddle Dees is not a bad thing in this part of the run. So right here, we're gonna be starting to set up. Let's hope that worked. Oh, this is gonna work. So I need to make sure I don't stand too close to Frosty here. And there we go, we got it. And this allows us to quickly grab this as well and get another Waddle Dee. Whew. Heart rate went up there. That's a scary bit. So there's a big puzzle over here in this room as well with ice. And we're just gonna skip right through it. At some point I do want to try running all Waddle Dees, because it does sound like a fun category to get all the Ds. Yes, I said it like that. I don't care. Usually, like within the community, we do refer to them as Ds rather than Waddle Dees. So make that of what you will. Ooh, I would like to keep fire, please. And I'm gonna fall down here into the boat where there's already a ring waiting for us. And we're just gonna fly to the other side. Get hit on the way, because of course. And that's the end of the stage.
I have 10 years from Phoenix saying, hey, good luck on the runs, everyone.
Thank you, Phoenix. Is that a shining black Phoenix or just Phoenix?
Just Phoenix.
Okay. So on to the burning, churning power plant. This is a very cycle-based area that we're gonna hopefully blow through kind of quickly. It is honestly one of my more favorite stages in a way. I don't know, there's some fun stuff in there. So right off the bat, I'm gonna try and not get squished at all. If I ever get squished, I basically lose a Waddle Dee, which is bad. Ow. I would also try to keep fire, please. That would be really nice. Oh my lord. Went backwards there. We're also gonna grab the coffee along the way to pep ourselves up. And grab this Waddle Dee. I could skip this Waddle Dee, but we're just gonna keep going because I'm not 100% sure I have the right count of Waddle Dees. I probably have too many, but it's important a little later on. We're trying to get a certain store to appear in Waddle Dee Town, so it's very important I get the right amount of Waddle Dees. I'm gonna wait for this one. I'm not gonna wait for this one. There we go. I sometimes grab that figurine. It's kind of annoying. And there's the final cup of coffee. There we go. I think some of us here could use some coffee. Yes, take on even more fluids. That's a good idea, Kinnin. There we go. So right here, the game expects you to grab the candy machine, which I'm trying not to do. I'll just hit it anyway. There we go. I don't want it though. It is the spiritual successor to Fridge in Kirby 64. But we don't need it. We don't even need any of these two. We're just gonna go straight to the back here and get closer to the end of the stage. And there we go. So we should now have enough Waddle Dees to go back to Waddle Dee Town for a special shop that we're gonna have to use to get some power-ups. So this game has actual power-ups. Yes, they're power-ups. We've got abilities and power-ups. They're different. Learn the difference. And these are actually called boosts in the game, not power-ups, but whatever, they're power-ups. So we're going to return to Waddle Dee Town, and the shop should be opened. Yep, there it is in the top right. So let me check my notes real quick. I kind of know how much I need. Yes. So these power-ups basically boost my speed and my attack power. Well, I'm only over one. Thought I would be over more than one. So we're gonna grab 2 speed boosts. So these cost the star coins. That's why I was gathering star coins every now and then. That's the second one. So the important thing is to do this a little bit quickly. You can buy multiple ones, but if you do not grab them in time, they will disappear. So I can do 3 at the, in a row, and then I'm gonna have to start using them, or otherwise they'll disappear. So right here, I'm just quickly gonna grab and start using them. Oh, I dropped one of the attack boosts. Oh, that's annoying. Should still be fine. We'll still need 4. That's not gonna make it, is it? Oh, well, I can deal with just 3. The 4th one is usually just a precaution for myself. So the interesting part is these speed boosts only work once you're inside of a stage, so they don't work. They don't start running out once you get when you're in overworld. I'm just gonna grab one. Yeah, just gonna do it like this. So usually you would grab more than just these two and then take one with you. But I dropped one accidentally. It happens. Should have taken it a little bit more safely. And then we're going to go back to basically a stage that is the boss rush of the game. There we go. It's a gathering of the Beast Council. So right off the bat, we are going to go to the right over here. So there's a little secret entrance here. I'm going to jump over that one. That gives us a Waddle Dee and gives us Crash. And Crash is pretty useful in a boss rush. Because especially with the power boosts, we just insta-kill Gorimondo over here. Sorry about that. And then we're going to go into a car and do a little bit of a mouthful mode section. So right here at the end, there's a timed Waddle Dee, and we're going to get to it as quickly as possible by jumping over some areas. Here we're going to turn around and do it like that. And that was pretty good. That's another Waddle Dee gotten. And on to the next boss fight we go.
Squeezing in a quick donation.
Yep, go ahead.
We have 15 euros for myself saying, Booyah!
Booyah! So right here we got Silly Dillo again, this time with attack boost, so he should die a lot quicker. Look at that, almost gone already. There we go. That also gives us a Silly Dillo for a Waddle Dee for doing it really quickly. And we're gonna grab that one and grab the pipe over here. So this is pipe mouth. It basically can just roll down a slope and we can jump with it. That is pipe mouth. We haven't really used it up until now because like only now it's actually the only way to progress. I'm gonna fall down here to get another Waddle Dee. There we go. So we're going to be grabbing a lot of Waddle Dees in this section, by the way. This is probably the most Waddle Dees we're getting in any stage. So here we got Coraline again. This time I actually have a good ability to deal with her. Almost get hit. And that was Coraline. Fire is just a bit too strong here. And then we're going to go on to our next mouthful mode that we haven't seen before. This is Coaster Mouth, where we're just going to be a roller coaster. And you can just hang to the sides to grab items. And in this case as well, you can, there's a little puzzle with buttons that you can press. And you have to press them all to get a Waddle Dee at the end. So we're going to be focusing on that. And there we go. That was all of the buttons except for one at the end here. And that way we're going to save another Waddle Dee. And that's the end of this stage. There we go. And then we're going to go on to an absolute banger of a stage. Mostly in the music. To actually do it, it's kind of annoying in the speedrun. This is definitely the stage I've practiced the most. It has like a couple of hammer super jumps that I find really difficult to do because of camera angle stuff. We'll get to it when we get to it. So yeah, 9 out of 11 Waddle Dees saved there. The most out of any stage. And on to the next one. Oop. This is the Beast Pack's final stand. So we're gonna be a little bit suspenseful at the start. And drop our ability. There we go. And now it's very important for everyone in chat to say hi to Kirby. There we go. Thank you, Tech Desk. So right here, straight off the bat, we're gonna be dealing with these all of these enemies, which gives us a Waddle Dee. And we're gonna grab Hammer, because like I said, we're gonna be doing some super jumps.
Kirby is getting plenty of highs from chat.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Also, this is my favorite song in the entire game. I did not want that. Gonna do our first super jump here. This one, I don't need a lot of height for. And then we're gonna go straight into another one. Ooh, that is just barely enough height. There we go. That skips a little puzzle section. There we go. Ooh, I do need to keep Hammer. No! I do that way too often. Oh, Lord. Can I mix it? Well, let's see. There we go. So yeah, that is a mix. They are in every Kirby game. I actually wanted to save that one for a different ability, but it's, I guess, a nice backup in this case. So right here, we're going to be doing another super jump, but this one is very tight. Did I get it? Did I get it? I might have gotten it first try. There we go! That usually takes me at least 5 tries to get, so I'm quite pleased with that. Normally I would mix here for fire, but yeah, I lost the mix because I dropped Hammer. But this was all I needed Hammer for, so we're just gonna go abilityless for this section. And go into Archmouth again. Very important, I go up a little bit here. You can actually hit the bottom of this frame. First time I played the game, it was just like bonk. Oh, right, you can hit that. So the gimmick in this section is to hit all these spinners, or the windmills, I think is the right word. Good morning. There we go. I don't really need any more star coins, but I do like collecting all the rings. It's kind of fun to do. I do need to make sure I get all of these. Come on, Kirby. You can get to that one. Thank you. Because that spawns a Waddle Dee at the end here. And then right here. So it would be really nice to have fire here, but we're just gonna go without an ability. Works just fine. I'm gonna skip landing on this one specifically, because I would like to keep it there. The others will respawn eventually. And we're gonna grab Cone Mouth here. Now the important part is that I do not drop into the fire with Cone Mouth. There we go. Because then I'll lose another Waddle Dee, and I don't want to do that. So right here, I can jump early because I have the speed boost and hit this one. And that's the end of probably the most annoying stage in the game. Whew. There we go. And that's all the Waddle Dees we need to get to the final bosses. A lot of these. Someone actually hacked in like 100 Waddle Dees and the game just does not like it. It's really funny. It just lags all over the place. Few more treasure roads. The treasure roads are a lot of fun though, but yeah, don't really get those. And on to In the Presence of the King. So you can have 3 guesses as to which boss we are going to fight this time. Luigi, yes, we're definitely going to be fighting Luigi. Final boss of every game. So because we're fighting bosses, we're going to grab ice again. Especially against this boss, it's very, very powerful. I actually have a lot more attack boost than I usually have. That's really nice. So this is King DDD, or Forgo DDD in this case. And we're gonna do the shield trick again that I showed off a long time ago. So I'm basically shielding, unshielding while holding forward, and press and alternating it with B. So I'm basically just attacking and then unshielding at the same time, which causes massive damage really quickly and also freezes the boss. Oop. Here I kind of want to try and get him into standing still. There we go. Now the annoying thing whenever you start freezing bosses is that they cause a little bit of lag. So I need to slow down the mashing. And there we go, that's Forgo DDD. That was actually really well done. I sometimes have a little bit of trouble with this one. There we go. And now we got a bunch of cutscenes that I'm just gonna mash straight through and go to the true final area, the Lab Discoverer, where we're gonna meet the true bosses. So for this section, I like to switch back into fire. There is a hammer super jump here to skip the next boss, but it's really difficult, and I haven't put in the proper amount of time yet, so maybe next time I'll be able to show it off. I believe Samurai Man did it in his ESA run. You could just skip the first phase by running straight towards Leongar here. And we're just going to be fighting him with fire, dodging his attacks as good as we can. There we go. Whoop. Ooh, so I usually would like to have attack boost still left over for this fight, but we're not going to be using our attack boost here until later. And there we go, into the second phase. And Leongar goes berserk. Just try to stand really close to him. Nope. I've been a little bit unlucky with the amount of times I've been losing fire, because every time you lose fire, all the fire effects onto the boss also disappear, which loses me a lot of damage. But there we go, that was Leongar. And hey, it's Elflin! So there's like a bunch of lore things happening during this section, by the way, which I'm not going to explain. Just have to play the game yourself. It's a fun game, so. And we're going to go on to the next boss here. The next boss is quite the monstrosity. There we go. This is Fectoforgo. This is what I mean with like Kirby lore can be pretty dark, because this kind of stuff can happen in a cute little game about an alien that is basically a child. So an interesting little tech that I haven't really explained here is that while I'm using fire, I'm holding the shield button so that I do not aim the fire, but I'm just walking while using fire. It's a neat little trick. Took me a while to learn, and that was Fectoforgo. Quite an easy boss. And now we're going to go on to the real final boss of the game. Kirby usually has a couple of bosses in a row at the end. I'm going to grab the maximum tomato there just to be safe. Did not want to grab bomb, but that's fine. I'm going to switch into ice anyway, because ice is better on the next boss. It's not that great on the Leongar, so I don't really like it there. Oop. There we go. And this is Fectoelphalus. And Fectoelphalus is kind of annoying in the first phase, just kind of shooting these spikes at you. And you're just like, oh, come on, come down here. And then that's exactly what they're going to do. So I'm going to use my attack boost now for this fight. So again, very important to just freeze quickly. If I do things right, I might be able to get into the second phase instantly here. Or at least very quickly. Yeah, I'm going to get hit here a little bit. Hopefully. Come on. And that was the first phase. Let's go. If I don't hit Fectoelphalus into the next phase there, they would have gone out of my reach again. That would have been really annoying. Pretty decent amount of time loss. And here we're just kind of waiting for these rocks to appear. I'm standing all the way to the left, so that for this really big rock, I can just skate to the right. It's nice and easy. Shielding these attacks. That's a nice thing about ice. It's like a perfect block ability, so I do not get any damage from this. So I can just kind of wait and just go straight into absolutely murdering Elphalus again. Ah, damn. So in this phase, Elphalus splits up into three, and you kind of want to look at which one has a shadow once they leave, because that's the real one. There we go. And we're almost done with Fectoelphalus. Time is not yet coming up. There we go. That's the main fight. Done. So right here, we're going to go into mouthful mode and try to rip out Elflin. And there we go. That was honestly a really good boss fight, by the way. It's the best I've done it in a while. That went really smoothly. Oh, I can skip this cutscene. Oops. So here we go into the final heroic moments. So of course we're gonna go into mouthful mode with a truck. We are now Big Rick Mouth. There we go. So yeah, steering with this thing is kind of annoying. It kind of handles like a truck. Totally not because it is a truck. There we go. We got a nice useful path over here to get us all the way to the top. There in the distance you can already see Fecta Elfless. There we go. Now we're gonna go into some quick time sections. Time is after like a really big meshing section, so I will call time when it is. It's on a very specific frame. I'm gonna try and see if I can hit it. So here we're mashing over here. Now we're gonna jump out of the way. And then we're gonna slide forward real quick and put the controller down right here. So I have a little bit more control. Actually, no, this is easier. I forgot about that. So first we're gonna mash B. And then we're gonna have to mash B while spinning the control stick, which is terrible for accessibility, and it's the worst part about this game. I absolutely hate it. It is the worst. I don't know why this is the final bit. Come on. And wait for it, wait for it. Time. Whew. So yeah, that was Kirby and the Forgotten Land. It is a really fun game to play, both casually and as a speedrun. I really enjoy it. There's a lot of cool tricks in it, and the game is just really pretty. So yeah, shout out to the Kirby community. Y'all are awesome as always. I really enjoy just hanging out with, well, sometimes. If you've got any questions about speedrunning any Kirby game, you can just go into the Kirby Discord. And there's a bunch of people there that are always really willing to help anyone out with their games, because we just love Kirby and we love making Kirby go fast. So yeah. And without much further ado, thank you again for BSG for having me. I got 3 runs in this marathon, which was actually a little bit more than I would have liked, but that's all right. Next year I'm just gonna submit a few runs less. Anyways, this has been me, and we're gonna have 1 run left. See you around for that one.
Right, thank you very much. Before we go to an intermission, may I request one last pollo?
Sure. Pollo!
Thank you very much. All right, coming up next, we have the very last run of this marathon, which is gonna be Dragon Age Origins run by Bamzors, so don't go anywhere.